So hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Now, this is part 2 for What If Naruto Had a Quirk. And yeah, now please do like and subscribe. I'm trying to get the 300 subscribers, which is gonna be amazing. And if we get the 300 subscribers, I don't know, I'll do like a 300 subscribers special or something when I finish this series. But do subscribe from your parents' accounts, your pet's account, your second account, your third account, anything. Subscribe from your friend's account. Just subscribe and like the video because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure to comment. I will reply and like your video. I like your comment, like as long as it's generally positive, I guess. So yeah. Anyways, I don't want to waste your time too much, so let's just get right into the video. Now, last time we left off, Naruto and Team 7 were just heading to the training grounds to do the bell test. Now, when they arrived, they saw Kakashi. And Kakashi just ended up explaining to them, saying, oh yeah, so basically the bell test is, I have 2 bells, and you're gonna try to get it. If you get the bells, you pass, and if you don't get the bell, you just get sent back to the academy. And no, Kakashi is not late this time, because I didn't feel like making him late, or maybe I just forgot, you'll never know. And yeah. Basically, Sakura's like, wait a second, only 2 people are passing? That doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay, I guess. And Naruto didn't think anything, because he's not smart. He's just like, I will pass. After all, I will become the Hokage. Believe it. And Sasuke is like, I will pass. I must pass. And anyways, they all want to pass, obviously. And Kakashi's just like, okay, well, go. And Sakura and Sasuke immediately just ran into the bushes and started hiding. But you already know what Naruto's doing. He's like, just standing out in the open, being like, I will get the bells, Kakashi. And yeah, he literally just charges in. And he makes clones trying to kill Kakashi, and his clones do impress Kakashi because, you know, the way he makes his clone, the fact that there's actually like physical clones is pretty surprising to him. This isn't a Genin level jutsu after all, but this is definitely nothing Kakashi can't deal with. After all, Naruto is incredibly inexperienced and has terrible taijutsu skills, so, you know, it doesn't really matter. Anyways, Kakashi can just keep dodging him and eventually has to end up using his secret technique, the 1,000 Years of Death. If you don't know what that means, it's nothing too serious. If you don't get it, you don't get it. If you do, you do. Anyways, basically, Naruto eventually just steps in a trap that Kakashi set, and he's basically now dangling from a tree tied to a rope. And Kakashi's just like, okay, is anybody else gonna come and attack? And eventually Sasuke does end up coming out and starting to attack Kakashi. Now, Kakashi and Sasuke have a heated taijutsu battle, just like they did in the original, where Kakashi ends up pulling out on top because obviously Kakashi is way stronger than Sasuke at this point in time. So yeah. But in the meantime, because this takes a while, this is a pretty long taijutsu battle. And Naruto is just like, okay, I gotta get loose. It's time to use my secret technique. And he tries to use his quirk, and remember, he doesn't have full control of his quirk. He can only manifest maybe like the head of the Nine Tails partially to just like maybe bite something before disappearing. he only was able to summon the full Nine Tails during the incident where, it protected him from the fireball. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just go watch part 1. Like, come on. Anyways, so basically, Naruto, after a couple attempts, and basically Sasuke acting as a distraction, so that Naruto can do this without Kakashi noticing, Naruto is able to just destroy the rope, and he gets himself free. And basically, Kakashi is easily able to defeat Sasuke, and at the same time, Naruto is back, and this time he's going with a long-range approach, throwing kunai and shuriken in Kakashi's direction. Now, Kakashi has to act fast, because no matter how skilled you are, a bunch of shuriken coming your way while you're fighting someone else can be a little bit tricky to dodge. And so basically, he dodges it, but, it does take some concentration, and Naruto uses that moment to rush in with clones, surrounding Kakashi in a circular shape, getting all sides so that Kakashi can't escape. And he just had a bunch of clones, and they all decided to rush in at Kakashi at basically the same time. And Kakashi didn't have too much trouble, and he was able to get almost all of them, and they all just poofed into smoke. And Kakashi just kept killing clone after clone after clone as they kept poofing to smoke, as finally the real Naruto dived in, trying to grab the bells. And Kakashi, all he had to do was kick him. As Naruto was so close to the bells, he could almost feel them in his hands, but he was too far, and Kakashi was already kicking him away as he backed away from the bells fading out of his vision. And even though he was probably now only 2 meters away from the bells felt far away. He wasn't able to do it. And Kakashi is like, nice try, but you won't be able to get me like that. But then Naruto closed his fist and smirked and said, Kakashi, it seems like you lost, as he held up both of the bells. And Kakashi had no idea how this had happened. After all, he noticed almost nothing except for Naruto trying to shoot a fireball or something like that. Just a bit of chakra coming out of his hand at the final moment, trying to damage Kakashi probably, but it didn't even work. But now Kakashi realized that yellowish, orangish chakra, it probably wasn't a fireball jutsu or a fire type jutsu that was at least intended to hit him. That jutsu was to grab the bells. And Naruto had succeeded. While he attacked Kakashi to distract him, he had found another jutsu to somehow take the bells away from him at such incredible speeds that Kakashi hadn't noticed at all, which thoroughly impressed him, but he didn't know what to say. I mean, he couldn't not let them pass, as Naruto was like, okay, I pass. And Kakashi ended up explaining the real purpose of the test, saying that technically, since they did get the bells, even though they weren't supposed to, I guess that he guesses that they can pass. I mean, they did get the bells after all, so there's not much Kakashi can do. Now, after this, Team 7 is now an official team, and they start going on a bunch of missions. They just keep going on a bunch of easy missions. Naruto continues to try and master his quirk, they just mostly get bored, and by bored I mean very bored of all of this easy missions, because this is way too easy for Naruto and his team. Anyways, that is why one day when Hiruzen is about to give them another mission, Naruto asks for a harder mission, saying that the current missions they're getting are way too easy. And the better word for that probably wouldn't be asking, but Naruto demanded it. He was like, we need a harder mission. Like, this is too easy. In the whole classic Naruto fashion. And Hiruzen decides to agree because he knows that Team 7 is in capable hands and Kakashi should be able to keep them safe. And he's also not doubting the capabilities of everyone on the team because Sasuke, at least Sasuke, he knows that Sasuke is strong, so yeah, basically. That's what happens. And their mission is to escort Tazuna. And so the next day, they all get ready by the gate, and Tazuna shows up, and they just head off. Basically, their mission is to escort this guy called Tazuna to the Land of Waves. And apparently, he's a bridge builder, so Team 7 was like, at least we get to go out of the village, so they didn't complain. Now, along the way, they all noticed that it was really hot outside, and Naruto ended up seeing a puddle, and although at first he didn't think much of it, his attention kind of was on the puddle. Like, not that he was necessarily suspicious of it, but he was like, yo, a puddle? Like, interesting. And so Naruto was kind of interested in the puddle, and Kakashi obviously had already noticed it. So when the Demon Brothers went out of the puddle to attack, Sasuke was easily able to just grab that one Demon Brother by the chain, destroying him. And Naruto this time, instead of getting cut, as the Demon Brother approached him, Naruto just kind of like already saw him coming, so he was barely able to dodge out of the way as the Demon Brother just turned around and came back to attack Naruto. And Naruto was about to use his quirk to try and fight back and defend himself, but Kakashi just came out of nowhere and was able to capture both of the Demon Brothers, just doing what he did in the original, where he just like easily destroys both of them, like no trouble. And yeah, that's basically how that happens. And to be honest, it is kind of weird how the Demon Brothers are tuning level. Like, bro, the Demon Brothers are tuning level, and so let's say Zabuza is obviously Jonin level, and Naruto, after going full like Nine Tails, QB influence, after he gets the QB influence, he is literally able to stand a chance sort of against Haku, and he is also probably stronger than Zabuza because Zabuza is weaker than Haku, obviously. So Naruto is almost basically Jonin level already in the Land of Waves arc, but he doesn't even end up passing the Chunin exams, although Shikamaru does. It just doesn't seem right, but sorry for going on a rant. Anyways, basically they just keep heading off, and as they keep going, they notice a thick mist, like a lot of fog starting to come in. And Tazuna says that this is normal, because like this is the Land of Waves. If you're gonna see fog anywhere, this is the place where you're gonna see the fog. But Kakashi isn't buying it. This is too much fog, even for a place that is meant to be foggy. So he is already on the lookout when he senses a huge blade just flying at them. And Kakashi immediately yells, "Duck!" as all of Team 7 just ducks down to avoid whatever is coming at them. I mean, they have no idea, but clearly there is something, and they're not gonna question Kakashi. They all duck, and this blade comes flying over them and just lands in the tree behind them. Now, on the blade lands Zabuza Momochi himself, as he does his whole speech, being like, "I am Zabuza Momochi, and you must be Kakashi. I am blah 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 blah." You know, the whole thing that he does. And Kakashi is just like, "Okay, bro, leave this guy to me. You guys stay back, protect Tazno, whatever. I'll take care of him." And they have the whole fight. Kakashi gets trapped in the water prison, and it's now up to Naruto and Sasuke, as Naruto just goes up to Sasuke in a panic, and he has a plan, because Naruto, for once in his life, is smart, which might sound weird. I mean, Naruto Land of Waves arc, smart, doesn't seem like a good word to describe Naruto in, like, when he's young, but you know what? This is probably like the one time in the Land of Waves arc where Naruto does something that's actually smart, as he whispers into Sasuke's ear a plan, as Sasuke slightly smiles, saying, "That's absurd, but it might just work," as he takes out a Fuma Shuriken and just throws it at... No, is that a Fuma Shuriken? No, it's that... What is it called? It's like the demon shuriken, something like that. He takes out that weird shuriken that folds, and he just throws it at Zabuza. But Zabuza was able to dodge it, as it went flying past him, landing into the water, not being able to hit him. But Sasuke had another one, actually 2 more shuriken, as he threw the next one. And once again, Zabuza was able to dodge it. As Sasuke prepared the next one, he thought in his head, saying, "This one has to be perfect or else the plan won't work," as he threw it straight at Zabuza. But Zabuza, once again, was barely able to dodge this one as well, not letting go of the water prison Kakashi is in, but at the same time, just being able to dodge that shuriken. And Zabuza is like, "Ha, you actually thought that you would be able to beat me with some," as he pauses. The shuriken, the final shuriken that Sasuke had just thrown, poofed into smoke, revealing itself to be Naruto using a transformation jutsu, as Naruto just kicked Zabuza from the back, making him let go of the water prison jutsu, letting Kakashi get out. And I am very sorry for going on a rant, but I have to, because I just have to point out, Naruto, in the graduation exam, he could not do a transformation jutsu, not a shadow clone jutsu, nothing. He could do 0 jutsus, and he sucked, okay? And now you're telling me, what, maybe 1 month later, okay, this is, the Land of Waves arc is like 1 month after the graduation exam. 1 month is all he needs to be mastering a transformation jutsu into a shuriken that is able to fool a Jonin level ninja. Like, he had 3 years in the academy to learn this, and he couldn't. And then he learns it in 1 month. It's just weird, but sorry. Let's get back to the what if. Anyways, Kakashi just destroys Zabuza using the Sharingan, copying his Water Dragon Jutsu, and knocking him out. Haku steps in, throwing Senbon into like special points in Zabuza's neck, making it seem like Haku actually killed Zabuza, saying that Haku says that he's a tracking ninja and that he will go take Zabuza's body and like do whatever tracking ninjas do with bodies. So Haku disappears. Kakashi passes out, not being suspicious of Haku at the moment, although he will suspect him later. And yeah, after that, they just go to the village to Tazna's house, and they have the feast of a lifetime because Tazna's daughter is an amazing cook, and Kakashi gets some rest. Although when he gets back, he's in at full power and does have to use a crutch to stand, and this does get fixed later. But he just teaches the team tree climbing, wall walking, chakra control, that sort of stuff. And that's basically all that happens for maybe the next week or so. But this is when the action starts again, as I would like to put it. Actually, that is not how I would like to put it, but too late now. Anyways, they head over to the bridge where Tazna is building, because technically they have to protect Tazna while he's building the bridge. So, until the bridge is done. And it seems like today will be the last day, because he is literally about to finish the bridge. And, so he's just building the bridge, and, Team 7 is just sitting around being like, oh, okay, well, let's just wait. I mean, they're not expecting anything. That, of course, is when the fog arrives. The fog. And they're like, oh, but didn't we already deal with Zabuza? And as Zabuza appears out of the fog, they see somebody standing next to Zabuza. This being the so-called tracker ninja, Haku. And Kakashi's like, just like I suspected. Haku wasn't actually a tracker ninja. Haku was blah blah blah. I can tell by blah blah blah. And he goes on his whole detective rant where he's like, yeah, this is explained because backstory plus backstory and explanations that you need to know to understand the series. And he just says a bunch of stuff, but yeah, that's not important for the what if. Anyways, they start fighting, and Kakashi takes care of Zabuza, but it's a whole nother story with the ice mirrors and Naruto and Sasuke. Now, Naruto and Sasuke see Haku, and after a bit of fighting, Haku ends up trapping both of them inside the ice mirrors, as, they just don't know what to do. After seeing Sasuke use a full force fireball jutsu on the mirrors and it doing nothing, Naruto is pretty confident that his quirk, with its very weak firepower, won't be enough to take down these mirrors. So he's just like, I can't do anything, and he just continues dodging the Senbon, trying to at times use his quirk to deflect the Senbon. And Sasuke, being in battle, doesn't currently question Naruto's quirk and this ability that he has to summon this creature, head of a creature, or parts of this yellowish, orangish creature to block the Senbon. So he just doesn't question it right now, because that's not his biggest problem. But it's not too long before Sasuke gets hit in some vital areas, and he gets knocked out, as Naruto, not knowing that he's alive, thinks that Sasuke's dead. Sasuke killed by Haku. He can't believe it. He doesn't know what to say, and for a moment, for him, what seems like a minute, but in the real world probably less than a second, just stands there, not knowing what to think. And then suddenly, this incredible red aura starts surrounding him as he looks back up. His eyes now are red with small black lines in the middle, almost like a cat's eyes. You know what I mean? Like cats have those sort of eyes. Yeah. And Naruto is now strong, and he is immediately able to break all of the mirrors, as seeing Haku, he just is able to just kick and punch Haku, sending Haku flying. And at this point, Haku is still fighting back, although he's basically accepted his death and is like about to say, okay, I'm no longer useful to my master, kill me, you know, that whole thing that Haku does. But before Haku can say that, Naruto summons the Nine Tails, and this is his quirk, and his quirk is powered up, whenever he gets like QB influence or just like Nine Tails chakra. So when he has Nine Tails chakra flowing through him, his control over his quirk is like way more. So Naruto summons the full Nine Tails. Well, not the full Nine Tails, but like he summons his quirk, and he summons basically the like a miniature Nine Tails avatar sort of thing, you know, that whatever you want to call it. And like the Nine Tails literally just swallows Haku whole. No trace of Haku left. Haku was never seen again, except for when Haku does get revived using the Edo Tensei that I won't include in this what if because it's boring. But yeah, Haku gets killed, and Naruto. Meanwhile, Kakashi ends up stabbing the Chidori through Zabuza's chest, and yeah, that's them dealt with. Afterwards, he just calms down and heads back to Sasuke and starts crying as he just looks down and doesn't do anything for a moment, and then he looks back up to see Sasuke staring at him, and Sasuke's just like, Naruto, what are you doing? What happened? And Naruto just like, for a moment, he's like confused. He's like, wait, what? You're alive? And Sasuke's like, yeah, of course. You thought I was dead? And Naruto's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you were dead. And Sasuke's like, no, I wouldn't die. And they're just like talking, and Naruto's like, wow, that was close. I almost thought you were dead there for a second. And meanwhile, Gato and his men arrive, as Gato just steps out of the boat with hundreds of mercenaries just standing there. And he's like, well, I wasn't gonna pay Zabuza anyways. And he does his whole thing, but to be honest, Team 7 is not impressed, and they're just like, Naruto creates a bunch of clones, Sasuke doesn't do anything, Kakashi creates a bunch of clones, and they're like, okay, listen, you guys can run now and we'll spare your life, but to be honest, like, we're giving you one chance to live, as most of the mercenaries literally just run away. They're like, oh, spare us, no. And they just like jump in the water and run away. But Gato's like, you cowards, I'll beat them myself. And I don't know what Gato's expecting. It's like trying to kill the people who killed Zabuza and Haku. He really doesn't stand a chance. He doesn't even use chakra or ninjutsu or anything. So he's like weaker than like an average person, so he shouldn't expect to beat some ninja. But basically, Gato gets killed, and the bridge does end up getting named the Great Naruto Bridge. And yeah, with that, Team 7 heads back to the village, and that's pretty much where I'm gonna end this what if off. If you want to see part 3, please do like and subscribe. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. See you next time. And bye.